Good evening, Catamounts. We hope you had a great spring break. I'm Thomas Newsom.
And I'm Lorelei Noyes. This is your campus news presented by WeTV Catamount Entertainment.
So, how was your spring break?
Pretty good. A lot of traveling, but I saw my best friend, so can't complain. How about you?
I got sick and spent the entire time sleeping.
Oh!
Not ideal.
Not ideal. Western Carolina University is naming its softball field in honor of a former faculty member. The late Betty Peel was the leader of a core group of female faculty members that headed the early growth of women's intercollegiate athletics at the university. $100,000 have been pledged to the university from the Peel estate will be used to create the Betty Peel Softball Program Endowment Fund. The fund will provide equipment, cover travel costs, help with maintenance to facilities, and support student athletes in the softball program through a merit-based scholarship.
Evacuations had to be made after a gas leak occurred on Tuesday. The Ramsey Center and surrounding athletic facilities vacated when the leak happened during construction of the Whitmire Stadium skybox. Crews from WCU and Jackson County were able to find the cause of the leak and fixed the issue. Construction resumed shortly after getting the all clear by public safety officials.
The machines are rising up and they seem to be fighting each other. We go to Hallie Stanley with the latest.
The Society of Manufacturing Engineers at Western Carolina University wrapped up its mid-semester activities with a robot showdown. Students built their own robots before putting them to the test. The robots don't just take skill and knowledge to build. Engineering student Elena Moose says her team won their first round by using a unique tactic.
We're Team Big Weld, and our robot was in the first round. It has the deployable wall around the goal. And we've also got a big scoop that's painted with the ugly orange face. So that's our intimidation tactics.
For the Big Weld, the team's robot took more than enough time to build for the group members.
It probably took us, I think, he said it took him like 20 hours. He did all the modeling, the 3D printing, and then it probably took me like 2 hours to do the electrical, like solder it all together and make sure it was all working. And I printed the remote, so probably like 22 hours total, spread across the 2 weeks.
The 5 competing teams built their robots using provided kits that include motors, controllers, and wheels. The teams competed in 3-minute rounds with 2 robots facing off at a time, scoring points by pushing objects into their opponent's goal. Malachi Duckworth, membership officer of SME, says the robots were judged on precision, speed, strategy, and the total points scored during each round, along with the teams adhering to the guidelines.
There were certain guidelines, like they could add their own parts, like 3D print stuff, and then there were also prohibited items, no weapons or like crashing into each other, stuff like that. So I think it was a really good competition. They had a lot of freedom to kind of do what they wanted, so I think it was a lot of fun.
The competition concluded in a battle with the team Big Weld winning the final game. The Society of Manufacturing Engineers plans to bring the robot showdown back again next academic year.
Well, that was certainly a shocking story.
Yeah, electrifying. Stay tuned as Julian and Ryan show us what they're cooking up today with We Cook soon to come.
Increased gas prices, canceled flights, and a potential NBA expansion. Our national news desk after the break.
We're all just trying to keep things running for those who rely on us.
Ready?
That's why we don't have time to be sick with the flu. And especially this year, no one has time to get sick. Get a flu shot for yourself and those around you too.
Right here, baby. Look. Uma.
Noah. Something more than a birthday is happening here. Once you can see it, you can help. The sooner you recognize the signs of autism, the sooner you can make a lifetime of difference for your child. Start by answering a few simple questions at screenforautism.org.
Multiple studies have shown that marijuana can slow both driver reaction and response time, which can be really dangerous. He's here. He's here. Wait. What? I can't drive. Why? My. Oh.
Did you know dragging chains can spark a wildfire?
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Every day,
Millions of people are connecting.
and even though we're overcoming obstacles,
Watching each other's backs,
And banding together.
we should still make an effort.
We should still make an effort.
to get to know each other,
on a deeper level.
Father,
cosplayer,
Mentor.
Actor.
it's time we take a step forward
it's time we take a step forward.
Come together.
and discover
How accepting our differences
Can make us stronger.
Hello, I'm Kaylee Dean, and welcome to the National News Desk. Here is your news from around the country. Gas prices hit their highest levels since October of 2023 as the Iranian conflict continues. As of March 18th, the national average gas price has reached $3.79, almost a whole dollar up from just a month ago. These effects are being felt throughout the supply chain as the price of deliveries go up. According to WLOS, grocery store chain Hopi & Co. in Asheville, North Carolina, has seen a 20 to 25% increase in fuel costs. The store is bearing the increased cost but isn't sure of long-term viability, saying they might have to bump up prices in the next 6 to 8 months if they keep having to pay additional fuel surcharges. Joe Kent, the director of the National Counterterrorism Center, announced his resignation on Tuesday, March 17th. Kent announced his resignation publicly on social media, saying, quote, "I cannot, in good conscience, support the ongoing war in Iran. Iran posed no imminent threat to our nation, and it is clear that we have started this war due to pressure from Israel." Speaker of the House Mike Johnson rebutted this claim, quote, "I got all the briefings. We all understood there was clearly an imminent threat that Iran was very close to the enrichment of nuclear capability." Kent is a retired Green Beret that was nominated for his position by President Trump and was voted in July of last year 52 to 44. According to flight tracking site FlightAware, more than 750 flights have been canceled and around 1,300 were delayed as of Tuesday, March 17th. The cancellations and delays come as storms hit the East Coast and airport security screeners miss their paycheck. The partial government shutdown currently happening only impacts the Department of Homeland Security, which includes the TSA. TSA union leaders in Atlanta held a press conference saying many workers are facing eviction, no food, and empty bank accounts. Travelers are advised to show up at least 3 hours early for their flights due to increased time of security checks. A federal judge has temporarily blocked health officials from changing the number of recommended vaccines for children from 17 to 11. The judge cited that Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. ignored long-held processes for developing vaccine policies. The ruling temporarily blocks Kennedy's appointment of 13 new members to the CDC Advisory Committee on Immunization Practices, blocks the votes that the new ACIP has made, and prevents the current ACIP from meeting until the case is finished. The current administration plans on appealing the decision in court, according to the HHS spokesperson Andrew Nixon. According to ESPN, the NBA Board of Governors will have a vote at their meeting next week to look at adding 2 teams to the league in Las Vegas and Seattle. The NBA likes both cities as prospects, saying both cities are projected to be in the top 8 revenue generators for the NBA. Furthermore, the league views bringing a team to Seattle as righting a wrong from the past. The Supersonics were Seattle's team from 1967 to 2008 before moving to Oklahoma City and renaming to the Thunder. The sports market in Las Vegas is growing as the Raiders and the NFL moved to Vegas in 2020, and the Athletics from the MLB are planning their move for 2028. With the addition of 2 teams to the Western Conference, the NBA is expected to move the Minnesota Timberwolves or the Memphis Grizzlies to the east to balance out the conferences. This has been your national news. I'm Kaylee Dean. Back to you at the desk.
Thank you, Kaylee, for the report.
The U.S. Forest Service is set to resume prescribed burns in 4 national forests in North Carolina. Since early March, the U.S. Forest Service says it has burned more than 10,500 acres of North Carolina's national forests. Over 6,000 of those acres were in the Pisgah and Nantahala National Forests. The Forest Service expects for prescribed burnings to take place over the coming weeks as weather allows.
Nonprofits across Western North Carolina are teaming up to provide mental health counseling for seniors. Jewish Family Services of WNC is partnering with Givens Communities to make it easier for seniors to access mental health counseling. The nonprofit says mental health is an increasingly important issue that seniors face, citing 1 in 3 seniors have been diagnosed with anxiety or depression. JFS Executive Director Michael Barnett says they want to remove the cost barrier by accepting Medicare. Do you smell someone cooking?
Nope, it must be unseasoned. I think it's time we see what Julian and Ryan have created this week.
Julian, I figured out what we're going to do for We Cook.
Is it tuna?
How'd you know?
We already cooked it, and you already ate it.
Oh.
Now it's time we cook. Oh wait, we already cooked.
All right, so since we're preparing the tuna 2 different ways, here's what you're going to need. You're going to need your tuna steaks, obviously. You're going to need some sugar, some brown sugar, some sesame seeds, some sriracha sauce, some soy sauce, some salt, some garlic powder, and then some avocado oil. On a plate, you're going to mix 2.5 tablespoons of sesame seeds. So we got about 1, 2, yeah, it looks about a half. Teaspoon of garlic powder. And then around a teaspoon of brown sugar. Now you're going to get your tuna steak and you're going to cover it in the mix. There we go. Spray it back on out. Woo. Voila. Tuna can be served cooked and raw. So for the raw one, we're going to cure it with some salt and some sugar. Now we cover in some sugar. Woo. Turn the stove to medium-high heat. I'm going to put a little bit of avocado oil in. After a minute, you're going to flip it, repeat it. Flip.
What'd you say, Ryan? Touch the stove?
I mean, maybe for the content. Ooh. All right. After you get both sides nice and crispy, and make sure you get the edges too. You're going to take it off. To top it, you're going to have a little bit of a mix of soy sauce and sriracha. There we go. You're not going to use all of this either. This is kind of a lot. Yeah, it looks good. Now we mix it. Ooh, that looks pretty good. So here it is. This is a cooked tuna steak. First, I'm going to call it salmon for some reason. Yeah, it's pretty good. You want to try some, Julian?
Here we go.
After you take it out the refrigerator, you're going to lightly wash off the sugar and the salt. Then you're going to pat it dry.
Chef Creel at it again.
All right, now that's patted dry. Now we can cut it apart. This is how you would prepare. This is one of the ways to prepare raw tuna. Come give it a shot. That's pretty good. Thank you for joining us for this episode of We Cook. I wasn't able to get Julian to like fish after all, but we're gonna get him next time because there will be another next time.
Yay!
Wow, looks great as always.
Yeah, it looked all right. There was just something a little fishy about it. There is a lot to celebrate this time of year. Stay tuned for Hallie Stanley covering how some people are bringing in the new season.
And get your weekly weather report with Jack McBrayer after the break.
Hear that? That's the sound of your life. Perfectly imperfect. But every time you drive after drinking, the music gets drowned out. Your life sounds pretty great. Don't let a buzz ruin it. Buzzed driving is drunk driving. Don't drive buzzed.
What are you doing in there?
What's that?
I wouldn't do that. What are you doing? What are you looking for?
I was a quarterback at Hardaway High School. College first round draft pick during the football season, I would stop eating. But I didn't know I was depressed. We didn't have any education behind what mental health was. I started to learn it starts here first. If this is together, I'll be better as a father and as a husband. We have to redefine what being a strong man is and heal, love your mind.
Hello, Catamounts. My name is Jack McBrayer, and here I'm going to give you your weather report today. As you can see for tomorrow on Friday, we have cloudy with some sunshine peeking through, and it's going to be a high of 69, a low of 39, and an average of 50. Going on to Saturday, it's going to be a bit more rainy, so you're going to need your umbrellas. It's going to be a high of 73, a low of 51, and an average of 60 that day. But going back into Sunday, luckily it's going to be more sunny and a bit warmer that day with a high of 78, low of 52, and an average of 63. Going into Monday, beginning the next school week, we have cloud coverage, but with sun peeking through, and high of 69, a low of 44, and an average of 52. Going into Tuesday, you have a high of 68, a low of 37, and an average of 40, but also sunny, so you don't have to worry about an umbrella. Going into Wednesday, we have a high of 67, a low of 41, and an average of 53, a little bit cloudier that day. And then going into Thursday, we have a high of 71 and an average of 60 with a low of 46, but also sunny. So it looks like things are going to start warming up again here really soon. But that's Jack McBrayer with your weather, and we're going to throw it back to the desk.
Thank you, Jack, for the weather. State Representative for Jackson, Swain, and Transylvania County, Mike Clampett, has passed away earlier this week at 71 years old, fighting cancer. Clampett was running for his 5th term after winning the Republican primary handily. Moving forward, the Republican Party will vote for who they recommend as their new candidate. Governor Josh Stein will then have 7 days to appoint that nominee to the now vacant seat. The candidate selected will go up against Democrat Mark Burrows on the ballot in November.
A bill passing through the North Carolina House could affect how many parking spaces towns will have. House Bill 369 would change the law requiring a minimum number of off-street parking spaces. Nonprofit Environmental Mountain True encouraged the passing of the bill, saying that parking is a necessity, but setting a minimum leads to wasted space and increased building prices for homes and businesses. Many cities across western North Carolina, including Sylva, would have to change their building requirements. The bill has to pass through the NC Senate before it can be signed into law.
It's a changing of the seasons, and many people are excited. Hallie Stanley with the story.
Indian smells, colors, and food. That's what Chai Pani brings to downtown Asheville. Holy High brings a celebration of Indian culture to the mountains. What can be heard from streets away is music.
Why I like Holi? Just listen, the music incredible. The colors are so much fun. If you're not having fun here today, you don't know how to have fun. So hopefully you come around and you can really partake in experiencing Indian culture in a really fun way.
Chai Pani made its home in Asheville in 2009. Later in 2022, was named the most outstanding restaurant in America. Holy High is a South Asian festival marking the beginning of spring, and for many, it's a chance to share culture and tradition.
For a town in the mountains where there isn't a big South Asian population, it's pretty amazing that we have this nationally and internationally recognized restaurant. And I love that for them, it's not just about sharing culture through food, but these celebrations to be able to share more of the beauty of Indian and South Asian culture with the community here in Asheville, which is why I love being a part of it and being part of this celebration, because the Indian and South Asian population might not be that big, but we definitely love where we come from and the traditions we carry, and this is a great way for us to share that with the larger Asheville community.
This is the second year of Holy High, with the tradition coming to Asheville after Hurricane Helene, helping those find a global community in western North Carolina. Reporting, I'm Hallie Stanley with WeTV. Back to you in the studio.
You want to know what I'm excited for in spring?
What are you excited for in spring?
My birthday.
Today.
March 22nd.
That's almost happening. Happy birthday, Lorelai.
Thank you. After the break, Dom Sayani and Chap Chappell with your Catamount Sports.
And Jacoy Bell with our special guest. Stay tuned.
Kids will be kids, which just goes to say kids will be curious. They get into everything, everything. If there's a loaded firearm in the house, they could get their hands on that too. Keeping firearms locked, unloaded, and stored separately from ammunition in a place inaccessible to kids can help keep your loved ones safe from family fire. Safe gun storage saves lives.
Score going to the playoffs. I can't believe I missed that. Every time I'm buzzed, I spend too much time on my phone. What? I should take your phone away. No. I'll call for a ride. Hey, why does my face look like that?
I'm playing with these new face filters.
Okay, you know what? Yep, that's mine.
I'm gonna need that back.
No.
Kevin!
Hey, Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
Do clouds take naps?
I couldn't tell you.
Dad, do stars visit their friends?
Look!
With Julia's autism, loud sounds can be too much.
But she still loves to make music.
Yeah.
Play band.
Early screening for autism can make a lifetime of difference. Find out more at screenforautism.org.
Catamount. I'm Dom Sayani. And I'm Chap Chappell, your voices for Western Carolina sports. Swinging into baseball, the Catamount baseball team wins a nail-biter over Moorhead State 8-7. Wyatt Stanley, in 5 at-bats, got 3 hits, scored a run, and batted 3 runs. One of those runs being Jackson Lida's, which put Western up in the 8th inning to win the game. Lida also had a good day with 3 at-bats, a 1 hit, and 3 runs scored, while Elijah Smith and Mason Holton both had good games, as Smith scored 1 and got 3 hits and 4 bats, while Holt got 2 hits and 2 RBIs in 4 at-bats. Brian Kimbrell, who is 3-0, earned his second victory of the week, tossing the final 3 innings. With 5 strikeouts, he allowed 1 run, 3 hits, and the second arm out of the WCU bullpen. Evan Meyer struck out 4 against 4 walks in 4 innings in the starting role, with Owen Austin fanning 3 over 2 innings or relief work. The Cats will host Sanford for 3 games this weekend, Friday at 5 p.m., Saturday at 2 p.m., and Sunday at 1 p.m.
Keeping things swinging with softball, Western Carolina softball split a non-conference doubleheader at Queens University of Charlotte on Wednesday, falling 9-1 in a run-filled 5-inning defeat in the opener before returning the favor with an 11-3 victory in 6 innings in Game 2 at the Stick Williams Dreams Field. Senior Tate Stewman and Taylor Waitley led the way in the doubleheader with 3 hits each, as Stewman clubbed her 4th home run of the season in the first inning of Game 2. Junior Lily Bell and freshman Sydney Bumgardner both collected 2 hits, with Bumgardner totaling 3 RBIs and her second career start in the second game. Sophomore Courtney Marks and junior Sydney Dirks, along with freshman Kaden Lyda and Emma Kendall, each had hits, with Lyda totaling a team-best 3 RBIs in Game 2. Sophomore A.G. Batson claimed her 7th win of the season, while classmate Amanda Fulton finished things off to her first save of the season. The Cats will host Furman for a doubleheader on Saturday starting at 1 p.m. and will host them again on Sunday at 1 p.m.
With basketball season winding down, the Cats men's and women's teams took a trip to Asheville for the 2026 SoCon tournament. Reporter Owen Fleming has the story.
The SoCon tournament returned to Asheville from March 6th to March 9th. This round-robin tournament pits every SoCon team against each other, with the winner receiving an automatic bid to the NCAA March Madness tournament. 5th-seeded Western Carolina was coming off a 6-game winning streak and faced the 4th-seeded Mercer Bears. The Catamounts started slow, with Mercer gaining a 28-11 lead in the first 7 minutes. That didn't last, as an offensive barrage led by Talon Petway erased the 17-point deficit. The Cats exited the first half with a 36-35 lead. The game went back and forth, and in the closing minutes, the Cats had a 3-point lead. Mercer guard Zaire Williams gave them a 1-point lead after missing one of his free throw attempts. Free throws also led to Western securing the win. Cord Stansbury was fouled while attempting a 3-point shot and made all of his attempts, giving Western the lead. Tajon Dumasi led the Cats in scoring with 21 points. Cord Stansbury had 13, Talon Petway had 18, and Marcus Kell scored 15. On Sunday, Western faced number 1 seed ETSU, who they had swept in the regular season. They dominated the first half, controlling the flow of the game on both sides of the ball. This impressive first half ended with WCU leading 38-24. The second half started strong, with the Cats taking advantage of ETSU consistently fouling them on offense. The offense did start to sputter with 11 minutes to go as the Cats clung to a 9-point lead. As the clock ticked down, WCU fans were on their feet supporting the team and trying to will them to the SoCon title game. ETSU forward Blake Barkley took over with 3 minutes to go. He bullied his way into the paint, scoring layups and free throws to put ETSU up by 1. WCU had one last chance to score after missing 2 free throws, but ultimately ETSU came out on top, 69-67. This heartbreaking loss was tough on the entire team, but head coach Tim Kraft wouldn't let it define the entire season.
It'll take some time to kind of reflect on what we can learn as a program moving forward to try to build on what we have been able to accomplish this season. Certainly falling short of what our goal was when we came to Asheville, but feeling like we certainly had a team that could cut the nets down and was good enough to do it. We'll look forward to trying to learn from it and hopefully build off this group.
Western will return to the tournament in Asheville next year with a new group. Time will tell if a SoCon championship lies in the near future. I'm Owen Fleming, reporting for WeTV.
Thanks, Owen. To close out this segment is WeTV's Catamount Athlete of the Week.
This recipient is WCU softball pitcher A.G. Batson.
Congrats, AG, and
go
go Cats!
Now we have WeTV's Jacoy Bell with an in-studio interview.
Hello, I'm Jacoy, and this week in the corner we have my lovely guest, Rose Daphne. She is an anthropology major, and she is involved in many things here at WCU, including the Trans Student Union, Dagali, and the Cherokee Language Repertory Choir. Thank you for joining me, girlie.
Of course.
So first I want to ask, how has your time here at Western been?
Well, I really loved it. I'm from a big city. I'm from Houston, Texas, so it's definitely been different living here. It's not nearly as big, but for the most part, I've loved being here. It's so beautiful here, and I've met some really great people.
Period. For those that don't know, what is anthropology?
So anthropology is like the study of people, our societies. It includes archaeology and even linguistics. So yeah, that's anthropology.
And in what ways has that major given you insight on how you see yourself?
So I would say that both as a mixed indigenous person and as a transgender person, anthropology is, very close to me, how we see ourselves and how we move through the world. And I think that both of those identities for me personally has really shaped my view on being alive, being a person, what I value, because specifically with being a transgender woman, you really have to think about how the world perceives you, how you want to present yourself, and everything has to be very intentional. So I think that through that, it's given me a much deeper understanding of what it means to exist in the world as a woman and that sort of thing, and where my place is with that. So yeah, I think it's really great.
Wonderful. Okay. So being that you are involved in so much, how do you juggle everything?
Well, first of all, I don't sleep, and if you know me, I am at the very least 5 minutes late to everything. And one thing about me, if I'm gonna be late, I'm gonna be late with a snack, so make it 10 minutes. But I try to get to everything. Also, I keep a tight schedule. So yeah.
Okay. So what is it like learning and singing in the Cherokee Language Repertory Choir?
So that's actually one of my favorite things here in Cullowhee. It's been really important to me because the Cherokee Repertory Choir is keeping up a over 250-year tradition of Cherokee hymn singing.
Mm-hmm.
It's got a long history with the Cherokee people, and it's been really wonderful to be involved in the community in that way. Also, I think that speaking an ancestral language like that has been very healing for me, again, as a mixed Cherokee person. And also, there's not very many students in the choir, so I think it's wonderful to get to know people from the local community, both here in Silva, up in Cherokee, and Birdtown, Big Cove, places like that. It's been really wonderful.
Okay, great. Back in Texas, you are involved with the Mount Rose Center. What are some local places here in the Western Carolina, space that LGBTQ people can feel safe and supported?
Well, I'd really recommend that y'all come out to the Trans Student Union. We've got meetings every week. It's a great community. We've also got an office that runs a food pantry. So if you're facing food insecurity or anything like that, just come on up and you can get something. But I'd also recommend, if you want to volunteer, the Cornbread and Roses food pantry in Silva is queer run. I try to get there every Sunday. I think it's really important as queer people, and especially as transgender people, since we are so much of the hate around us is based off of misinformation. Not many people have met people like us. I really think it's important to go out, show up for the community, and show the people here that, we'd like to be included. We'd like to help provide for, the local system, and that, y'all, we're really not that scary. We just people trying to get by.
Exactly. You use your platform to speak on various topics and issues. How can people who may be too nervous to speak up find their voice or take that step forward?
So I would say if you've got a voice in you, it will find a way to come out. I like to say personally that I didn't really choose to become an activist. It was really out of necessity. Back home in Texas, when Senate Bill 14 passed, I got my medical rights taken away from me. And it affected me. It affected all of my friends, my sisters back home. So I think the only place I had to turn to was trying to make a difference in local government policies. So I'd really say if you want to get into the activism space, you have to have that fire inside of you. You have to have a cause that means everything to you. And most importantly, you have to have something direct that you want to change that needs to be changed. And you have to have the means within yourself to get that done. So.
Wonderful. Okay, lastly,
Yeah.
would you be willing to teach me a word in Cherokee?
Of course. Well, a word I say a lot is ski. It means thank you. So, ski Jacoy for having me on here tonight.
Ski
and
Rose.
Gageyu, I love
Thank
you.
Thank you. I love you too. And I'm Jacoy Bell. Thank you. And now back to the desk.
That's all the campus news we have for you this evening.
Make sure to check out our next newscast to stay up to date on all your campus news. And as always, go Cats!